Dad and I attended the inaugural Baw Baw RC opening and floatplane day. Chucked a few floaties into the trailer, a couple of low wingers and a couple of high wingers, and off we went. We also had a little competition between ourselves for the best rescue boat. So I bought a ready to fly, or ready to float I should say. Great little, I think it's Atomic's the brand. So my one, as you can see, that does 70 kilometres an hour. Dad went the traditional way and scratch built this little thing with a little working arm on the back that does 7 kilometres an hour. Anyway, both ideas didn't work, so we have a bit more work to do for a little remote control rescue system. Anyway, the good news was his Luftwaffe, which he scratch built during COVID, it's got the FMS Olympus drivetrain in it, works a treat. So floatplane aerobatics, yeah. Nice Canadair flown by Ross Bathy. I overheard it's 30 years old, and I think it was something like one of Tim Nolan's things, but that was a great thing. There was also a nice Valiant ARF with a petrol engine in it, and the rest were foamies. This is the pick of a foamy if you want a good float plane, in my opinion. That's the Flex Innovations RV8. Great to fly off on land and also water. Beauty of a low winger is when the wind gets up you can still operate. Anyway, a short speech is a good speech. Thanks, Mick. We've marched through the short straw and had to pick out the raffle ticket donated by Aubrey RC, a nice little FMS foamy, so you've got another float plane aficionado to be here soon. Then a bit of fun, a club member donated a set of E-Flight 40 size fiberglass floats. Started off at $20 and ended up about $140, which went to the club, and here's the worthy winner. I think it's one of the Scale Aero guys. Anyway, most people had a little 3S foamy. They were in abundance, which is a really good way of getting into it. You can see it's just a chop started there, but the wind abated again, so all in all it was a fantastic day of float plane flying. It's such a beautiful spot too. A couple of little electric twins as well. I think that's a Grumman. And there's another baby Canadair. Good little lunchtime break with Scale Aerobatic demo by a couple of young guys. And as you don't worry, the burgers are better at Baw Baw RC. See you next time. Cheers and thanks for a great day. Now incidentally, after watching quite a few people fly, I'm presuming some of them are quite new, given the amount of foamies, and that FMS Super Easy, which is a fantastic flying aeroplane on wheels, they haven't quite got the float set up right. Neither have E-Flight with that Twin Otter. Both of them need a bit more angle of attack when they're sitting on the water, like in other words the nose up attitude with the fuselage, or to be correct, the leading edge of the wing. And my Spacewalker here, I'm still working on the perfect setup, and you can spend a long time changing angle of attack and moving this step forward or back to get the perfect position so it planes when you're flying, zooming along the water at full throttle. But until you do that, this is just a very simple tip, is hold some up elevator. Now this particular model doesn't have chines to stop water spraying up into the prop, so the idea is you hold full up elevator, it keeps the tips of the floats out of the water as much as possible. As it gets going, then get back off the elevator, maybe to about half or quarter. As the speed gets higher and higher, it's just slow you come off the elevator, but keep some. Because if you don't hold the up elevator, the tail plane just wants to come up into the flying position, and you dig a tip float, and then whack, you either rip a float off or you end up calling out the rescue boat. So anyway, that's just a little tip, and in the meantime I'm still working on a perfect setup for my Spacewalker. Cheers.